Well, hey everybody. That was fun.
Well, hey
I
everybody.
apologize for
That
some of the
was
technical
fun. Hey
difficulties
everybody.
we were having.
That was
We are
fun.
ready
Hey
to start.
everybody.
I am so
That was
excited.
fun.
Ready to start. I'm so excited. Just for you guys. So excited. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your patience. Really appreciate your Oh man, we are going to have some fun. So, this is my first live stream. I don't know if you can tell or not, so I'm a bit new at this. But my name is Steve. I run the new RideTheTeacups.com. Thank you so much for being here today. What we're going to be doing is showing off RideTheTeacups.com. A brand new website that I have set up specifically for parents who are looking to have their kids coming to Disneyland. So thank you so much. I'm excited to launch it. It's been a year in the making. We took our young kids to Disneyland about a year ago, actually right at a year ago this time, and it was really stressful trying to get everything ready for them. We didn't really know what it is that we were doing or looking for, anything like that. It was really hard to find the information we wanted, so I thought I'd put it all in one place. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and check this thing out. Here is RideTheTeacups.com. I'm really excited to show this to you. You can actually hit this right now. This website went up just a few minutes ago. The idea is that if you are a parent bringing your young kids to Disneyland, I want everything that you need all in one spot. So we'll go ahead and browse around a little bit. So it has a few different aspects to it. First off, we have, of course, these different blog articles that you can come in and check out. You can see a few right there on the front page, or actually go to our blog page, where my teacups are actually rotating around. Different things that you can find. Like you have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds in Disneyland. And there are things that you can actually do in the park to make it easy for them to actually get around. You can do things like don't carry your kids. Make sure you're not doing that, but do bring a stroller for them. So different things like that. We want to make sure that you understand these are things that your kids can do that you may not have thought of. All of these are things that you can do for your kids that you may not have thought about. Things of how to make sure you don't lose your Disney park tickets. Giving your kid a name tag so that if they get lost, the staff there can find you, and how to go about building a good one. Things you can do before and after your trip to kind of prepare your kids for the trip, and also to help the memories last as long as possible. So this is just some of the information that we have going out. We're going to be updating this all the time. So it's really something that I want to be a big resource that I didn't have when I was going about building this, or when I was about preparing my kids to actually go to the park. So here's what I want to do to start with. For those of you who are here, I'm going to be giving away a few different gift cards and things. So I've actually got a Disney gift card to give out and an Amazon card to give out. I want you guys to have these things because that's just fun, right? So what I want you to do in order to be entered, I don't need your personal information. I'm not interested in spamming you or things like that. What I do need is I want you to hit that thumbs up button. It's just right down here in the bottom corner of the stream, a little thumbs up button. Also want you to subscribe. Let me grab that and drag it over. That is very large. Part of my technical difficulties was getting some of these the right size. But hit that subscribe button. And then also just leave a comment right down here inside the actual chat. Looks like Charlotte has already started with that. I want to make sure that I'm answering your questions too. And then from time to time, we're also going to have even more fun and actually hit a trivia contest or two. So, I know we have a few people that are in here. Thank you so much. Ravi says this looks really great. I really appreciate that. This site has actually been about a year in the making, so I really appreciate that feedback. So let's start off with the Disney trivia. just for fun. So here's the idea of the trivia. I'm going to give you a trivia question, and then I'm going to give you four options. They will be 1, 2, 3, or 4. In order to play, all you have to do is just press the answer 1, 2, 3, or 4 down in the comments. And the first person who can actually type the 1, 2, 3, or 4 correctly, I'm going to give an extra entry in for the gift cards. You can still only win one gift card, but it'll increase your odds of doing it if you're actually winning. Pardon me as I take a drink of my water here. So, my trivia question that I've got: what is the fastest ride in Disneyland? And remember, just type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the comments, and we'll see how this goes. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the Matterhorn Bobsleds, Space Mountain, or Splash Mountain. 1, 2, 3, or 4, right down there in the comments. Who's going to end up grabbing that first? Robert Ing says Space Mountain. Charlotte Marshall says Space Mountain. Ravi says Splash Mountain. No Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or Matterhorn fans. That's all right. I have a surprise for you. This surprised me. Mr. Ravi. It is Splash Mountain. The downhill on the Splash Mountain actually goes faster than the top speed of Space Mountain. Woohoo, Ravi says. That's a really cool little issue that hit. I was really surprised by that. I thought it was Space Mountain too when I first did this. Do keep in mind that Space Mountain is in the dark, so Disneyland cheats. They totally cheat. Since it's black and you can't see anything where you're going, they put fans all over the place in your face so it feels like it's faster. Disney, that's cheating, and I love it. So just remember, you're not actually going. I could look up the exact results on this, but I'm not going to. I believe Space Mountain is around 35 miles an hour, and the downhill on Splash Mountain is actually 38 or 39. So just different tidbits for you. So all kinds of fun. So let's see. Ravi's got his extra entry in there. Robert Ing says things traveling in space should have the least resistance. You are correct with that. But we'll let the engineer out of us escape for the movie magic of Disneyland. I want to let you know, one of the things, there are several different topics that I want to post that I haven't had time to actually get on the site yet. One of them is that your first stop, parents, when you actually get to Disneyland, should not be the mad dash to Space Mountain. If you're in California Adventure, it should not be the mad dash to Cars. You're not running to Indiana Jones or to Peter Pan's flight. Instead, you are going to make an immediate left. And in Main Street, USA, right when you enter, you're going to go to the mayor's house. It's the second building in, immediately on your left after you enter. And the reason that you're going to go do that is because they have some cool stuff for you. So, if it is your first time in Disneyland, Disney will actually give you this first visit pin. This is my first visit in Disneyland. This is free. They will give one to every single person in your party, which is amazing. Free souvenirs at Disneyland. Make sure that you grab these. Also, if you are celebrating anything, they have pins for celebrations. My wife and I got engaged in Disneyland, so they gave us a happily ever after sticker that we were certainly really happy about getting. Again, all of these are free. They have so many different buttons for so many different occasions. If you go to something like a character dining experience, they have different buttons specifically for dining. I've got this one from Goofy's Kitchen from when we went to there. So the buttons. Who's got the buttons? I've got the buttons. You should have the buttons. When you go to Disneyland, Disneyland is expensive. We know Disneyland is expensive. Let's get some free souvenirs. So I'm a fan of free. I like free souvenirs. Let's go ahead and go with that. You're going to find stuff like this inside of the actual site itself. Let me get off of my YouTube into the blog. So if I want to look for something, like if I want to find my missing kids, I can just say lost if my kids are lost. you can actually search for whatever it is you're looking for. Immediately pops out with different things that you can do for your lost kids. So the first one that comes by is specifically creating a name tag to make sure that your kids don't get lost. This one's actually pretty cool. There's a video behind it. The idea is that you can actually build a lanyard, and your kids can do this. It's not going to have their name visible to anybody. Ultimately, the output from this, if I put my video back on the corner so you can see me, let's see here. The output of this, I'm holding it in my hand. So this is my kid's name tag. It's very simple. My kid decorated it. He did everything himself. Used markers, crayons. We used a whole bunch of stickers and do things. But the front, it has this big "Am I Lost?" This is for the cast members. So what they're going to do is, if your kid is actually lost, they're going to go find a cast member, and they can take these out. On the back, which was not visible to anybody, I have my kid's name, I have my name, I have my contact information, any allergies my kid has, so that the staff at Disneyland can get in touch with me. Disneyland staff has some really cool stuff going on. They have radios. They can go back and forth with anybody. They will go forward, put your kid into a safe environment, and they'll let them know they're going to go find the lost parent to help put the kid at ease. And Disneyland is able to find you super, super quick. This is incredibly helpful. As a parent, if you are going through the park, before you actually enter, as with any public event, by the way, take a picture of your kids on your phone and make sure you get in touch with the cast members. They'll be able to put you in contact with each other. They'll reunite you. They'll keep your kids safe and calm. You should try to be safe and calm as well. And what we did in the park to try to really help out with this is we actually trained our kids specifically look for the cast members. If you can't find mommy and daddy, look for the cast member. And we looked specifically for the badge on their shirt, because it's always just that oval with their name in big letters. Whatever uniform they have, the name tag is always right there. So train your kids. We went every hour, like, look for the name tag, look for the name tag, look for the name tag. And I'm very confident that if my kids, even at 3 years old, had gotten lost, we wouldn't have had any issues. Part of the goal of this site is to make sure that you can actually plan your Disney vacation without having any of the stress. It's not just the planning, it's I'm going to a place as big and as busy and as crowded as Disneyland with my 2 and 3 year olds. If you have more kids than you have adults, being outnumbered in a place like that is terrifying. We know. We've been there. We did it. We completely understand. We had some things that we tried out. We learned some things that didn't work. We'll let you know to avoid those. We found a lot of things that really do work, and we just want to share the knowledge to take the stress completely off of you, parents. One of the things that we really want to do is take the stress off of you. So after that really happy topic, let's see if we can get a Disney trivia in. So I've got a couple of these in here. This question, remember, in the comments, for those of you who are just here, 1, 2, 3, or 4 on your keyboard. The fastest one gets an extra entry into that gift card. When is Mickey's birthday? So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Is it January 1st, July 21st, November 18th, or December 9th? 1, 2, 3, or 4. In the comments, we've got Robert with 3 and November 18th. Charla says 2. Any other guesses? Any other guesses? All right, well, I have good news for you, Mr. Robert. We have the answer is actually November 18th. Mickey Mouse's birthday is celebrated on November 18th. Now, just as a bit of Disney history for those of you who are interested in that type of thing, Mickey Mouse was not actually Walt Disney's first creation. Walt Disney's first creation was a little dude named Mortimer Mouse. He was trying to make it big in animation. He had made a few shorts that had gotten picked up, but nothing really huge. And so he wanted a mascot character. So he contracted with Universal and made this wonderful character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and ended up selling it to Universal. And suddenly he didn't control it anymore. And Walt Disney vowed never to do that again. He was not going to give up the rights to his characters anymore. Mickey Mouse he had a mouse that was actually in his animation studio, and he kept it as a pet. Um, and as he was thinking of a mascot, he started drawing it out. And on a train, he decided to name this mouse and decided it was going to be his mascot. So then was born Mortimer Mouse. Mortimer Mouse. Now, we'll get to that in a minute. He eventually got a much better nickname, but I think it's the answer to one of my other trivia questions, so I don't want to give that away quite yet. Um, so you're going to see different things like that. As far as the long-term vision of the website, um, in the long term, this is actually going to be um, something where you can actually log in and plan your trips completely interactively. That's phase two. It's coming next year. Right now, I want to get the information to you guys as you're planning for summer trips next year or spring break. I don't want to withhold any of this from you because I think it's really helpful to your plans. But ultimately, you'll be able to plan everything. And that really is going to help you out with being able to determine what your packing list is going to be, what you should pack, what you shouldn't be packing, souvenirs you should get ahead of time, which is in here as well, and different things that you can skip in the park that Amazon or even your local Disney store has ahead of time. So, uh, and Mickey is a Scorpio, just like Robert Ing. That's right. So let's see. I'm looking back up in the comments. I know that Charla had asked, "What is a Max Pass?" And I want to make sure that I'm answering as many of these questions as I possibly can. That is what this is about, is making sure that we can answer your questions. So there are actually three different types of passes in Disneyland. There is a Fast Pass, a Photo Pass, and a Max Pass. And I'll go through those just really quickly one at a time. So a Fast Pass is Disney's way of skipping the line for you. So if there's several different rides that the lines can just be outrageous, like upwards of 2 or 3 hours actually, and nobody wants to wait 2 or 3 hours in the line. So Disney says, well, if you want to, we'll just let you skip it. Excuse me. So let's skip the line. Fast Pass is a wonderful, wonderful option to be able to use. Throughout the park, certain rides will have these different Fast Pass stations. They're just little computer stations. They're generally nearby the rides, and you just scan your ticket, and it will actually tell you, come back between these times. So come back between 1:30 and 2, or 1:30 and 2:30. And if you come back at 1:30 or 2:30, you'll actually see there are two lines at the entrance. One is for everyone who walks in. The other line is for people with a Fast Pass. So if you come back during your correct time, go into the Fast Pass line, it skips all the way up near the front, and you get to skip everybody else that's there. The flip side is, of course, you have to come during your scheduled time, but you do get to end up skipping the line. So Fast Pass is a really great deal. I say it's a great deal. It's free. Fast Pass is free. I want to make sure that you know that. Fast Pass is totally free. It's outstanding. Definitely use it. Places like Haunted Mansion is going to have a Fast Pass. Splash Mountain is going to have a Fast Pass. Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. The Cars ride in California Adventure and Credit Coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Lots of these places do have Fast Pass lines. Generally the ones where the lines can get enormous. I'm going to have Fast Pass. You can go there in person, get your Fast Pass, and come back when you want. You'll be all set. So that's a great way to skip the lines. One of the other passes that you have is called a Photo Pass. Now, Disney actually has different photographers throughout the park. They'll actually take your picture across whatever Disney background it is that they're standing at, and then they will give you this cool green card. This is a PhotoPass card, if you can see it, if it'll zoom in here. So, PhotoPass card. And you can use this to find that photo, to purchase that photo, get a digital copy of it, those types of things. You can get it at the photo shop in Main Street. You can do it online in order to get those photos. So you can actually have professional photos right there in the park. And the Photo Pass is this green card that lets you access those. You can also purchase different Photo Pass membership levels that lets you, you know, download several of these different photos for you all at once in one shot. So that's the Fast Pass, lets you skip the lines. Photo Pass lets you use the Disneyland photographers, but there's this third one that Charlotte asked about in the comments called the Max Pass. So this part of this card that I covered up here is the Max Pass. Max Pass is unbelievable. Max Pass is not free. This is going to be an extra $15 charge on top of your ticket per person if you want multiple people to have it. What Max Pass does for you, it lets you sign up for your Fast Passes that let you skip the line. Lets you do that on your phone from anywhere in either of the two parks. So you could be in California Adventure, get on your phone, and reserve a Fast Pass for Space Mountain. You don't actually have to go into the other park, into Tomorrowland, in order to do that. You can do it right there on your phone. And then you can wait 90 minutes, get back on your phone, and then sign up for another Fast Pass on, say, the Cars ride, or the Incredicoaster, or Splash Mountain, or whatever else that it is that you want to go to. You can sign up for these Fast Passes on your app instead of having to actually go there and do it. That level of convenience is unbelievable. If you're trying to hit a certain amount of rides and you're kind of timed on your time limit for different things, you can actually hit one ride. In the line to that ride, you can get up on your Fast Pass and get your next one, and then ride that first one, go over to the second one, and then get back on your phone and start your Fast Pass for the third one. And you can go Fast Pass to Fast Pass to Fast Pass to Fast Pass in a row if you can actually plan your passes well enough. So just solely for that reason, in my opinion, Max Pass is the best $15 you're going to spend at Disneyland. It's my opinion. Other people have different opinions, of course, but I highly recommend it. On top of that, frankly, that would be enough for me. On top of that, your Max Pass for $15 on top of your ticket, you have access to every photo that you take in Disneyland. So all of those professional photographers everywhere, generally they'll take 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures at a time. You get all of them. If you go to multiple different photographers, you get all of their pictures, all of them, for download, included in your Max Pass. On top of that, I didn't say that you get all of the photographer pictures. I said you get all of your Disneyland pictures, which means your ride photos are included in your Max Pass. So that awesome shot that gets taken on Splash Mountain when you're going around the curve at Incredicoaster and hit that flash, any ride photo in Disneyland also gets covered with Max Pass. $15 a day per person. So worth it. So worth it. Please go do this. If you are going with younger kids and you're not going to be riding a lot of the faster rides like the Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, those type of things with your very young kids, you can have one person get the Max Pass because you still want all those photos. You still want use out of all of the Disney photographers because they're amazing. And maybe you might even catch a ride photo or two. But since you're not using the Fast Pass part with your very young kids, you only need one and you get all the photos across the entire park for $15. I have to say I'm very excited by the Max Pass, but also a little frustrated with Disney. my wife and I got engaged in Disneyland several years ago in front of the castle, and that photographer was amazing. She actually went around, just started circling us as I was down on one knee, and poor Casey was freaking out. And it was an amazing, amazing memory. Um, we went out and we bought all of the photos for that park trip. Um, and it was amazing. I'm very glad we did it. Totally worth it. It was not $15 because the Max Pass didn't exist back then. We paid a lot more. We're very, very satisfied with it. In fact, um, I ended up getting one of their cool Disney frames. Right outside the castle there, we actually got a castle frame, is me proposing to my wife, who actually did not see that coming for some reason. So, um, very happy with the result. It was worth way more than 15 bucks. Please spend 15 bucks on a Max Pass, at least for one person if you want it for the photos. Parents, that is a great, great, great thing. A lot of money saving tips. That is a great place to spend your money. It really, really is. Um, so really wanted to call that out. Thank you very much for that question. That was outstanding. Um, I feel like I want to ask another question of you. If you're asking questions of me, I'm going to get you with a few. So let's see. What was Disneyland almost called? And remember, for those of you there, 1, 2, 3, or 4, just press 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 on your keyboard. First person gets an extra entry into my Amazon gift card and Disney gift card. So your options are Disney's Wonderland, Fantasia, Mickey Mouse Village, or the Magical Forest. 1, 2, 3, or 4. What did Walt Disney almost call Disneyland? Becky says it's Fantasia. Charla says it is Mickey Mouse Village. Ravi agrees. Robert thinks it's the Magical Forest. Nobody thinks it's Disney's Wonderland. And let's see, I do got to tell you guys, as someone who named my entire site after Alice in Wonderland, you don't think he's going to call it Disney's Wonderland. I'm going to take that personally. No, I'm not really. Let's get back to what you really want is the answer to that one. So I've got good news. That is Mickey Mouse Village. Number 3. Looks like Charlotte was going to be fastest on the trigger on that one. Mickey Mouse Village. Walt Disney really wanted to go completely all in with his Mickey Mouse mascot. But ended up changing the name to Disneyland, and I'm glad he did. I think that Disneyland is much better homage than Mickey Mouse Village. There's a bit more epicness to it. So thanks so much. Just for as other people are starting to join the stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. We are giving away a pair of gift cards. We're going to give this away for this stream. There's an Amazon gift card. There is a Disney gift card up for grabs. Easiest way to enter that contest for that drawing, just very simply subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up icon, and make any comment inside of here. I would love to answer any questions that you may have about Disneyland, so please ask them. We love that. We're also walking through the brand new site that just launched today, ridetheteacups.com. It's just right in here. This is a resource specifically for parents looking to bring their kids into Disneyland. In addition, on the site to just these different blog entries and things that you have, there's this awesome feature about the park info. Now, currently this is being worked on. It's in progress. But the idea is that I want you to be able to find anything it is that you're looking for on the site in all of Disneyland. I want you to be able to find the things that you want to see. So you throw my webcam back on the bottom there. So if you are looking for, say, some place to have a treat, I can look at the adorable snowman frosted treats. This is in Disney California Adventure in Pixar Pier. It actually has its own external site. And this is going to be a quick service place where you can eat outdoors and have all kinds of ice cream desserts. On a scale of 1 to 4, it's also only $1 sign, so this is going to be generally under $10 for your treats. So just kind of a little blurb about what it is that you can get here, and then I'm trying to include different videos for every single place in the park, whether it's an attraction, whether it's a show or a parade or a restaurant or even just a cart by the side of the road. I want to have some information for all of them so you can find what it is that you want, just to kind of give you an idea. Here's just a quick snippet of the video. I'm going to skip around here. So I really like just having different people's opinions about everything that's possibly there. So you don't have to look for, or you can filter and look for anything that it is that you want. Here, I've actually looked for all restaurants. I've done that in between since Adorable Snowman was a restaurant, so I can find different things like the award wieners for their hot dogs. Ballast Brewing Company, Bayside Brews. I can see this is in California Adventure. This one's in Disneyland. This one up here is in Downtown Disney. You can actually see some different things like the price and the type of cuisine right here on the actual title card. And get all kinds of different information on anything it is that you want. So the Blue Bayou is a wonderful place. This is actually the restaurant inside of Pirates of the Caribbean. We love going here. I got to take my parents here last time. For places that have a reservation, I've put in the phone number. If you actually click this on your mobile phone, it will let you dial and make reservations right then and there. You can also make reservations on their website. It's in New Orleans Square. In Disneyland, I can click any of these. It brings me right to, say, Disneyland, where again you can find all of this information on all of the parks. So I want you to be able to find anything it is that you're looking for. So even Alice in Wonderland, just different ride walkthrough. Over here on the side, you can see this is a dark ride. It goes slow the whole time. For the attractions, I've put in who it is that it's best for. So Alice in Wonderland, the dark ride is good for even preschoolers and toddlers, young kids, your tweens, teenagers, adults, and grandparents. I really think that everybody's going to have fun on this. Nobody's going to get thrown off by too much speed. Certainly good for grandparents. And all of these different rides are going to have all of these different just kind of different flags so you can see what the different rides are including. So I don't even want to leave the page if I want to look for the mountains. Anything with mountain I can get inside of here and see that. And let's see how much I actually have inside of some of these. So, oh good. So, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has all of this information. You can actually see a point of view of the ride. So we'll kind of skip through here a little bit. And you can actually watch the ride go on each of these things as well. And actually see the whole point of view ride. And then on top of that, you can see I've actually labeled Big Thunder Mountain Railroad as a must-do attraction. If you go to Disneyland, you absolutely must do Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It is a mountain ride. Disneyland actually has 4 different mountains. You have Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and the Matterhorn. So you have different mountains that you can end up riding. There's a few challenges that Disney has here and there with those. But the Disney mountains are legendary, so I've flagged that. This does have a section of darkness. It does have drops. It is very fast. This is not going to be good for your toddlers, and it's really not going to be good for your grandparents because it has lots of twists and turns. And that's generally something that our more mature and experienced folks, maybe with bad backs or things like that, will not enjoy so much. So this does have a fast pass, also has a rider switch available. It's going to last about 3.5 minutes, and it does have a minimum height of 40 inches. Some of the different rides do have those height requirements. So all of this stuff is right here on Ride the Teacups. We want you to be able to find anything that it is that you want. If I'm looking even for things like hotels, up here we have the 3 Disney hotels, but we'll be adding some of the non-Disney hotels in the future as well. If you want to look for different restaurants that you can find, you can see all of those, of course, as well. It has all the information on the different lands inside of both Disneyland and California Adventure. It has the different locations, such as the Disneyland, the Downtown Disney, and the California Adventure there, of course. Different shops that are available. I have not created all of the shops yet, of course. Turns out Disneyland has a lot of places. So I'll be filling this in as we go and getting those moving along. So those are just some of the things that you can get on Ride the Teacups right now. Get back up here. There we go. So let's see. I've got several questions that have come up. I have Tracy asking, what is the best time of year to attend? That is a fantastic question. Of course, a lot of these are going to depend on your family and what your family is doing. Someone who is going to a year-round school with their kids is going to have a different timeline from someone who's in preschool versus someone who's going to a standards timeline with a longer summer versus homeschooling. So a lot of this depends on you. I don't want to say there is a best time to go. With that being said, I really enjoy going in the early springtime, late winter, early spring, say around February or very, very early March. I don't want to compete in the lines with the spring break crowd, but at the same time, one of the busier parts of the year, of course, Disneyland summertime is enormously busy all of the time because that's when people are doing their summer vacations. But after the summertime hits, they have a little bit of a lull, generally around September. And maybe even very early October. But then they get into Halloween. They decorate everything for Halloween. They have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And then immediately after that, November 1st, they start decorating for Thanksgiving and Christmas. All of those pumpkins turn to a harvest, and a lot of those start going away in lieu of Christmas decorations. Excuse me. And then we have, the Disney's Christmas parties. They get set up and go all the way throughout the entire end of the year until they actually have their New Year's party. So Disneyland stays really busy during the holidays, and it is crowded. After New Year's, we start slowing down a little bit. This is generally when you're going to see the most construction throughout the park, meaning that some of your favorite rides are going to be down for refurbishment. Generally, they want they don't want to take down lots of rides at once. They can kind of stagger them over time. You can actually see a calendar on Disneyland's website, Disney.com. Look for the parks. You can get a calendar of their refurbishments for a little while anyway out. But they want to make sure that everything, or as much as they can possibly get to, is back up and running before the summer peak season again. And of course, they know they have people coming in for spring break as well. So if you can get the tail end of the refurbishment before the spring breakers show up, that's really what I like to do. In Southern California, it still ends up getting warm, so you can still do the water rides like Splash Mountain and the Grizzly River Rapids and those type of things without any worries whatsoever. Last year we went, again, around this time in November, and it was not too chilly to do those water rides. We thoroughly enjoyed them. So you can still do that in late February, early March, get on those water rides. That's really when I like going. If you can help it, I think that's going to help you out with a lot of your lines. So that's my preference. That may not work out for everyone. One of the things we're going to have in the future is I'm actually going to research out month by month the different pros and cons of going in January versus going in February versus going in March. And I'll have a blog article about that. That's going to be a little bit more in depth because I've got to do quite a bit of research with it. But the short answer, because I want to get you missing here on the stream, is I really like the late February, early March. Thank you. That's a great question. Let's see, Charlotte says, I remember that we set up a group text as an easy way to stay in touch with everyone, so we always knew where everyone was. That is fantastic. That's a really big deal. Being able to communicate with your group was really, really outstanding and helpful. Um, for us, we don't want to make plans, very firm plans as we go. Um, we had things like we'd like to take a picture around this time period in front of the castle or by the Snow White Grotto or in front of the grizzly bear in California Adventure and kind of loosely meet up. But other than that, everyone kind of gets to do their own thing. Um, don't worry too much about a schedule because the schedule will break. But the group text with everyone in your party, if that's something that's feasible for you, was really helpful. That's a great tip, Charlotte. Thank you so much. Um, Ravi wants to know what inspired you to build this blog planning site when other Disneyland blogs exist. That's actually a really good question too. You actually saw. Let me go back to the actual site here, and I'll throw myself in the corner. When we were looking at any of the oops mountain. Oh, there are no mountain shops. When we were looking at some of these different things, you saw I put in a point of view of each of the different rides so that you could actually watch. Now I didn't build these. So someone else on a different channel with a different blog ended up making these point of view videos. They're outstanding. I think they're a great reference, and I think you should use them. Different things like let's see, I'll go into the lands, say, and we'll go into Fantasyland. Let me actually try a different one here, um, and get into Buena Vista Street. So this is actually a better one. So there's actually this Buena Vista Street Secrets Revealed, because again, I want everything to have a video for it. And so you have other channels like the Provost Park Pass that actually goes through and shows all these different things. He has his own blog specifically for that. I think that's a great resource as well. So why in the world am I telling you about other people's channels when launching my own? To get right into Ravi's question, which I think was a fantastic question. Why am I doing this? Is all of those different sites are outstanding. I think they're very helpful. None of them helped me figure out what I need to do to get my kids through Disneyland. I found little pieces over here and little bits over there, but when planning my vacation with my 3-year-old and 3-month old to Disneyland, that is stressful, man. Oh my goodness gracious. And I had to go all over the place to find this information, and some of it was just kind of thrown on, and some of it, I mean, you've seen some of these blog posts from different sites where they're just throwing it up to grab clicks and like a paragraph. And that's not helpful at all either. So I wanted to make a resource that was very specifically helpful for parents bringing your young kids, because that is a demographic on a blog that, as far as I can tell, doesn't exist, or at least I wasn't able to find it. I'm actually a web development professional by trade. I design websites and do software engineering. And my wife and I, we grew up in Disney. We have literally a lifetime of memories in Disneyland, and of course now we're starting to bring our family. So between those two pieces of expertise, I really wanted to bring that out and try to help other parents so they didn't go through quite the struggles I did. Um, so you'll actually see us kind of point to some other places and other things. Let me see if this is actually going to work here. But let's see. I'm trying to throw a card up on YouTube, but I'm not quite sure how to do that, and that's okay. But yeah, we end up using those all the time. Um, so yeah, definitely use those other sites. Check them out. Get involved. But if you're looking to bring your kids to Disneyland, uh, man, this is the place. We've got the experience, the life experience, the kid experience to be able to do that for you. And I really think that it's going to be really, really helpful to you in the long run. Um, we're going to have several of our other friends who have also spent lifetimes in Disneyland come out. So it's not just the two of us. We're getting experience from all over the place for you to get your kids into Disneyland. And then finally, Becky says, watching the videos of the rides was really helpful for my young kids. They didn't get scared because they knew what to expect. Thanks for posting those on their site. You are very, very, very welcome. That was actually a really big deal, and you're going to see that in an upcoming video as well, is being able to... I want you to have your kids watch some of the different rides. Um, my 3 year old decided before we even left the park that he absolutely had to ride the Haunted Mansion and Splash Mountain. And he knew those were going to be the two things that he really wanted to do. The Haunted Mansion came and he knew exactly what to expect. He was not scared even a little. He loved every bit of it. Splash Mountain, he was a little terrified. He barely reached that 40-inch mark, and he did not. He decided he did not like drops. He decided that after the very first drop, which is not very big. And I mean, like, dude, I've got bad news for you. But as we started going through some of the scarier parts or the really big drop, he knew what to expect, and he knew it was coming, and he was kind of scared, but I was able to hold on to him, and I was able to reassure him. I think the biggest thing that helped, I was able to reassure him, you've watched this. You've seen the video. It's a big drop. It catches you at the end. Everything is perfectly safe, and everything is going to be fine. And he got through it. He did not go again. But I think seeing the rides really helped him prepare. Also, he's never done anything as big as Disneyland before, so I think that was something that was really helpful to him as well. So yes, you're going to see that, and a couple other things as well coming up to help your kids prepare for Disneyland. So you see that on the site already, and we're going to go see some more of that. Just getting up on the last reminders. We are giving away the pair of gift cards, an Amazon gift card and a Disney gift card. In order to get in on that, I just want you to subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up on icon that's going to be right down here. There we go, in the bottom corner, and then hit that big red subscribe button. And at some point tomorrow, I will actually start a new live stream and draw a pair of winners for that. So you'll have that. I also want to kind of show you some of the things we have up and coming for the site as well. So one of the things that you are going to see is a lot of my favorite thing ever, Legos. Oh my goodness, Legos are absolutely amazing. If you are looking for a way for your kids to remember their trip in a way that they just really enjoy and will last forever, man, Legos, Disney Legos. So you're actually going to see us build that Jedi Starfighter that you just saw. You're going to see us build some Avengers stuff. Probably as we get closer, Disney California Adventure is building Marvel Land right now, and they're going to have a huge Avengers complex inside of it, which is really cool. So just kind of getting your kids ready for some Avengers. We'll have some Avengers things, and then also coming soon, we are going to build this beautiful thing. As I block my face, we're going to have some Steamboat Willie. So just imagine it's fun as parents actually building these with your kids. Of course, it helps them with their STEM skills as they're actually getting through it and having to build these different things. Helps with their fine motor skills. Certainly helps with different appreciation for things like architecture, depending on what they want to do in the future. I certainly enjoyed that in my later days. I was actually building environmental art as an artist, and got really inspired by some of my Lego builds. So you'll see a lot of that. Different things that you can also have to prepare and to remember. We're going to have different things like making your own desserts or doing different things. We'll show you how to how to grab some of these different things like the popsicles, and even making your own shakes, making your own desserts, and doing different things. And then different things like the souvenirs that you should get outside of the park versus inside of the park. So things like outside of the park, we're going to highly recommend you get your shirts outside of the park. Different things like I have this wonderful Disney sticker book, an activity book that was for kids. This guy was like $2 at Walmart. It is not $2 in the Disney park. Make sure you're getting things like that that they can use and have a lot of fun with, and remember their park adventure outside the park. Inside the park, there are things that you can only get at Disneyland, and you really should. So you saw my picture frame of my lovely wife. You can only get that picture frame in the parks. There are a lot of different things like that. You can also get cool things like we actually got a few of these for our wedding. We went very Mickey themed. So make sure you're getting that. And when I say, as I reach into my reach beyond my camera here, when I say we went Mickey themed, of course you've got to do different things like your Mickey ears. We went very very Disney on our wedding stuff. Even the cup that I'm drinking from here is my wonderful groom cup that we got from the parks. So a lot of those different types of things. Make sure that you're getting Mickey ears at the park. Can I just throw that out there? These are my 3-year-old, now 4-year-old's ears that he decided he wanted to get. Other things that you're going to see on the site even is exactly things like that. So if I get into the blog, I can see, let's see, most satisfying souvenirs to bring home. Specifically, there's our Mickey ears. You can see my wonderful bride and groom Mickey ears that I was looking at there. In addition to telling you that you should be getting Mickey ears at Disneyland, which should not be a surprise to anybody, the site is going to give you different tips and things that you may not have thought of, like make sure you pick up those before your first day, before you actually enter the parks. The Disney ears are awesome. They're going to help you remember your trip. But in addition, you're going to get the most use out of those Disney ears at the parks. So you're probably not going to wear them to school, right? You're probably not going to wear them at the playground in your front yard. But you know that you are going to wear them all the time inside the Disney parks. So since you're going to get Mickey ears anyway, get the maximum amount of use out of them and get them inside of the parks. See, these are the things that we didn't know ahead of time. We actually got our Disney ears on our last day, and in retrospect, I'm disappointed that we didn't get them earlier, so that our kids could enjoy them throughout their entire park experience. So different things that we didn't know that I want to make sure that you as parents bringing your kids to the park are aware of. On top of that, we also have different things like a couple games inside of here. So there's 2 right now. There's Lexicon and Focus. It'll show you how to play, but I'm going to walk you through it, so we'll do it. The idea is that you're taking pictures of Disney characters, and you have to try to put them into focus, but you'll get more points based on how fast you guess the right character. Of course, the earlier it is, the more out of focus that character is. So let's play and see what happens. So I need to guess who this character is. It's a little gray blur, so it's kind of hard right now. It's going to be either Rapunzel or Donald Duck or Ursula or Iron Man. So let's see. I see some black on the bottom, purple up top. That's going to be Ursula. Did it with 17 seconds left. Hooray! I have 117 points. 100 points because I got it right. Yay! Now, if let's see, another gray blur. It can be the White Rabbit or Sleepy or Slightly or Rapunzel. I'm thinking White Rabbit. Let's see. All right, got a White Rabbit outside of the Alice Gingerbread House. Now I got 2 in a row, so now I get a bonus 250 points on my score. Now I can try to grab this right off the bat and say, hey, that's Minnie Mouse. I am wrong. It is Cinderella. Big red X for me. No bonus points. That's very sad. Let's see, I've got either the Red Queen or Tigger or Mickey Mouse or Pinocchio. It doesn't look... oh, maybe it is a Red Queen. That looked like a black back of the dress, maybe? Yeah, that's a Red Queen. So just simple things. 19 seconds. That was good. But since I lost my streak, I'm back to 100 in a row. Your streak points will actually go the more you get actually in a row to go. So this is round 5 of 5. I'm going to say that's Merida. That is not Merida. She would be very grumpy if she thought I was a lizard. So, so I ended up with 506 points. Woohoo! That is not terribly exciting. But that was a game. I ended up playing that in what, a minute or 2 minutes? You can pull this up. It's fully responsive, so it'll work on your mobile devices when you're in line for those rides, bored to tears, wondering what in the world am I going to do. I'm going to load up ridetheteacups.com. I'm going to play a couple free games. Then I'm going to pass the phone off and see if you can beat my score. And really, this is really designed to hit everything that you need for the park, not just the information, but even inside the park. Works on your mobile phone and does everything else for you. So. Just different things about the park. I want to make sure that you have all of those tools available to you. So let's go one more Disney trivia. I feel like we did pretty good with these, and now we've got a few extra people. For those who are a little bit later, weren't here for our first ones, I'm going to give you a trivia question. This one is going to be, what is the exclusive club inside Disneyland? I'm going to give you 4 options, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Just hit it on your keyboard. And if you are the first with the right answer, I'm going to give you an extra entry to the gift card. So, is this Club 33, Dining with Disney, ImaginEars, or ImaginEars? 1, 2, 3, or 4. So Becky says it is 1. Robert says it's 1. Ravi says it's 1. Well, and a surprise to no one, it is Club 33. So, fun thing about that, as far as why it's called Club 33, there's a couple of different theories. I don't actually know the final one. It could be that originally 33 members were admitted into this club. It could be a number of different things. The one that I kind of hope is the right answer, because I think it makes the most sense, is a Club 33 has long-standing been the only place in all of Disneyland where you could get alcohol. And the state of California, you actually, in order to sell alcohol and have a license to sell alcohol, you have to have a street address to do that. And Club 33 is actually located on New Orleans Square. It's inside one of the side streets, which is named, and it's number 33, so it has an address. I have no idea if that's actually the reason why that's the name, but I like to subscribe and think that might be possibly why that's a thing. So let's do that's been fun. Let's do one more of these here, and then get into a last couple of things. So let's see, who actually named Mickey Mouse? So we talked a little bit about this earlier, but was it Walt Disney, Iwerks, Harry Woodin, or Lily Disney? 1, 2, 3, or 4. See, Charlotte says 4. Becky says 3. Robert says 4. Ravi says 2. Nobody thinks that Walt Disney named Mickey Mouse. Well, Walt Disney named Mortimer Mouse, which was going to be the original name. And on the train ride across the country, Walt Disney's wife, Lily Disney, said, no, you need to have something that's more friendly and identifiable. And she suggested Mickey came out of that conversation. So, Walt Disney's wonderful wife, Lily Disney, is the one who actually named Mickey Mouse. So, a couple of other things about these. Iwerks is actually Mickey Mouse's co-creator along with Walt Disney. So, you'll see that inside of there. Just different history about some of the different names and things that are in there. So, happy wife, happy life. Yes, Robert. And Lily Disney was very happy. Walt Disney, for all of his being dedicated and dive into his work so deeply, really respected and honored and spent time with his wife and family quite a bit. He actually, let me get out of this trivia screen here. Walt actually worked on the park in different aspects of his business with his brother Roy Disney. And Roy really wanted to respect Disney's legacy, Walt Disney, his brother's legacy. That's actually why in Florida, Walt Disney started the planning but passed away before it ever actually came to fruition, unfortunately. And at that point, it was called Disney World. and Roy Disney kind of took over all of the rest of the planning and saw it all the way through the opening as the head of his brother's company. And Roy Disney was the one who specifically wanted to change the name to Walt Disney World. So that there was no confusion. This was his brother's legacy, which is outstanding. You can also see occasionally on the Disneyland Railroad, which circles the entire park of Disneyland, every once in a while you will see an extra car on the back of that train that usually does not get every extra passengers. It's not always part of the train, but sometimes you'll just notice it there, and it's kind of odd. That is actually the Lily. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I may miss the name. I believe it's the Lily Bell car, named after Walt Disney's wife. She actually decorated the entire train car. It is decked out to the nines. It's gorgeous. You can see photos of this online. And if you are very, 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 very nice to the folks who are there on the platform with you, they might even let you go in and explore a little. It's actually there as part of a tour. There's a tour that you can actually purchase, 2.5 hour tour of Disneyland that will include a ride in the Lily Bell around the park. But some of those cast members will let you in for a quick peek. So I am just really excited about how much of a family man Walt Disney was with all of the things that he had on his plate. So this is this is just introducing ridetheteacups.com. A new website just launched today, designed to help you as parents get your kids into Disneyland without the stress. I mentioned it wasn't just things about the park, but it was getting them excited. One of the things that we actually built was we built Sleeping Beauty's castle. And if I turn off the volume here, there's my terrible mug right there on the screen. We actually built Sleeping Beauty's castle, and I get to the end, you'll actually be able to see the thing, the finished product. And I've actually walked you through step by step how to do this. And let me put it on full screen real quick. And you can see, so I've got a couple head cutouts so they can take their pictures back behind a couple of windows, a secret door, drawbridge that actually work, all of the towers and things that you normally see there. So, I mean, if you want a way of throw myself on there. If you want a way of really helping your kids remember their Disneyland trip, you can build Sleeping Beauty's castle in your own house. The best part about projects like these that I'm trying to put on the site is this could possibly cost you $0 to put together. We actually outline different ways of accomplishing that. We ended up getting the big box from Lowe's when we bought a new refrigerator, and we learned Lowe's does not ship the refrigerator boxes when they drop off the refrigerator, which means they have extras, which means you can call them up and ask very nicely for a refrigerator box. And oftentimes you'll get home with this big, huge thing for free. And then it's just cutting out, decorating with a couple of markers, letting your kids help, and going to it. And it's just the time investment. So again, more than just getting your kids to the park, it's making the memories, right? So that's really what we wanted to focus on. Get there, have a stress-free, amazing time. Make sure that you're keeping your kids safe. So I have these different safety tips and things on here as well. Things that you don't want to forget. Different movies to watch. I don't know if you know this or not, but Disney has a lot of movies. It's hard to say with a straight face. So obviously Disney has an awful lot of movies. And if you're going to Disneyland with a young kid, you don't want them to watch them all. That's a lot of screen time. So here are 6. Like if you're bringing your kids to Disneyland and you want them to kind of know where they are and have a familiarity with what it is they're going to see, but you don't want them to watch 1,000 movies, 6. So watch Snow White. That's where it all started. Snow White's Scary Adventures is in Fantasyland. We actually got to meet Snow White walking around in Fantasyland several times. Make sure that you're watching Snow White. It's also a very easy plot to follow. Dumbo is fantastic because really there's not a bad guy, certainly not any battles or anything, so you don't have the violence and things in some of the other movies. This is also very quick. The runtime is about an hour. This was the first ever movie that my 3-year-old ever watched, and if you're bringing young kids, they are going to want to ride the Dumbo ride, and they are going to want to go around in Casey Jr.'s train. So Dumbo is a fantastic movie. Watch Peter Pan. It's going to be the longest ride in Fantasyland. You're going to want to go. It's one of the best. And Peter Pan and Captain Hook are frequent visitors to Fantasyland. They're going to meet them. So watch the movie and get to go. Cars. Cars is the only movie that has its own land in the park. Cars Land is out there, has 3 different attractions. Just this last summer, Star Wars Land opened, called Galaxy's Edge. I hesitate to compare what are we at, like 14 or 15 different movies, hundreds of episodes of TV shows, radio dramas, book empire, multi-billion-dollar empire, to the 3 Cars movies. So Cars is a big deal. It's also one of, if not the best ride in all of California Adventure. So check out Cars. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, check out the original 1970s version. This is in Critter Country right next to Splash Mountain. It's an amazing ride. You're going to see lots of Winnie the Pooh characters there. Check out Winnie the Pooh. Your kids should be watching Winnie the Pooh anyway. I'll throw that out there. And then Toy Story. As you're going through the parks, Disney always has lots of music playing, and you are going to hear "You've Got a Friend in Me" over and over and over and over and, oh my gosh, over again. And so you may as well see where it all started. Toy Story is an awesome movie. Your kids are going to get into it because they have the toys anyway. So just different things like that have ways of helping your kids prepare themselves as well. And again, this library is only going to grow as we go. So definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance at that gift card. So please, please, please be hitting that subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment if you haven't already in this live stream. We're going to be giving away the 2 gift cards. I'll be drawing for that tomorrow. I'll do it live so that you know that it's going to be completely random. My immediate family members, a few of them are here in the chat. They're not eligible to win. Very sorry if this is the first you're hearing of that, guys. We want to make this as open as possible. So please go off and do that. We're going to make this more of a regular thing as well. And we're going to be giving away some cool stuff. Hopefully, some really cool tips as well. A couple of other takeaways that I want you guys to have is if you are going to Disneyland, have an amazing time. Make plans. Don't be afraid to break them. Give your kid a name tag so that if you get separated, the cast members can reconnect you. Take a picture of your kid before you actually enter the park so that you have that, and just have so much fun. Don't be overburdened by stress or worry. Just have a great time. It's the happiest place on earth. Disney is there to support you and help you. Make sure that you get your buttons, y'all. Get your buttons. And then as a last tip before I sign off here, if you're looking at the mayor's house, the mayor's office right in Disneyland, and that line for these free buttons is 10 miles long all day, like it was one of the days we were there, because this secret is starting to get out, and you don't want to stand in that line, that's fine. Walk around the park, find the folks who are wearing all white head to toe, white hat, all of that stuff. Those are the janitors, the maintenance staff. The janitors and the maintenance staff are the ninjas of Disneyland. Tell those guys that you want a button, and you'll walk away with one. Almost every time. So, little secret, things you're going to find here in ridetheteacups.com. Check it out. Please explore the website. I am so excited to bring it to you. You can also join our Facebook. We have an Instagram. We have a Pinterest that I'm starting to set up here. Of course, the YouTube channel is going to be very active. ridetheteacups.com. So please, 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 ridetheteacups.com. Thank you so much. I welcome any feedback that you guys have. I want to make this a place where you can get everything done. So just in closing, thank you so much for joining us here on the stream. Hope you've had a great time. Hope it's been informative. Hope we can do it again. We want to get to know you. We want you to get to know us. So let's take some time, say goodbye, and go ride the teacups.